Good morning, everybody. I'm Branden Sewell. I'm the owner of Seal Pro Painting and also the host of the Off the Ladder podcast. And we exist to help home service business owners learn so that they can lead well and ultimately live life off of the ladder. Welcome to today's episode. This is going to be the first episode of 2025. I took a little bit of a break after the holidays. I ended up getting sick while I was on vacation. I had planned on recording while I was away in Tennessee, but just after getting sick and everything going on with the holidays, I was not up for it. So I took a little bit of a break. So again, this is the first one of the new year. So I'm looking forward to what's to come in 2025 with the Off the Ladder podcast, and excited for things that myself and partners will be bringing to you. Just a really quick update on my business and some cool things that are going on. So we finished up 2024. It was our best year to date. So that was really great. We ended up beating our goal, our revenue goal for 2024. I can say that 2024 was the healthiest year that we've ever had in business and most consistent. Just a lot of good things that happened in 2024. So I'm very thankful for that. This year, one of the things that we're kind of pushing for is getting everything branded. So I got the first car full wrap done. We're going to be looking at doing 2 to 3 more vehicles, hopefully within the first quarter of 2025, and really looking to make a statement with our presence in our market. We also have brought on a sales rep, so that's exciting. We've kind of been able to really expand our opportunities by having 2 people selling. And my new sales rep, he's doing really well. Helped us to really close out 2024 really strong. So that was exciting. I don't think we would have hit our goal if it weren't for making that hire. So, that was really good. I learned a lot from the first sales rep that I had ever hired, made some mistakes, but corrected those mistakes. And this has been really good so far. So, really excited about the possibilities in 2025 with Blake on the team. And one of the things that we're gonna really start doing more in 2025 with expanding the sales team is doing more local events. So sponsoring events, being involved more in the community, and that's great from 2 aspects. One, you're just increasing your involvement and exposure in the community. And it's always great to, get involved and to be community driven. And the byproduct of that is that it creates more opportunities naturally. You make more connections. It's a great way to network. It's going to create more opportunities for Blake. He'll be able to, make connections out there and drive leads and really be able to take everything to another level as far as that goes. And we're also going to be doing home shows again. We haven't done home shows, since 2020. So that was a big part of my strategy early on when starting the business. And we had a lot of success with home shows. We'd come away from a show with 30 or 40 leads and, close a good percentage of those, 40 to 50% of those leads. And it was a really big driver for our business. But after 2020, for obvious reasons, we didn't do them anymore. And I was kind of hesitant to jump back into that. But we're going on 5 years now. And now is the time. So we're jumping back into home shows. We'll have our first one this weekend. We'll do a couple in the spring. We'll do some in the fall. But that's going to be a strategy this year too for growth. And yeah, so I'm excited about all of those things. We're in 2 local BNIs now. I have Blake is covering a north location in our county, and I'm covering a south location in our county. So we've got both ends of our county covered as far as BNI goes. So that's going to be another strategy of ours, is to really try and drive our presence in both the northern part of Brevard as well as the south part of Brevard. Um, Brevard County is a really long county, so there's a lot of service area and a lot of opportunity. So we're trying to make sure that we're building our presence along the entire county, which is kind of challenging. If you go over to like Orlando, there is about three, almost 4 counties that make up like that central Orlando region, with Osceola County, Orange County, and then Seminole County. Whereas on the coast, Brevard County stretches like all 3 of those counties along the coast. It's a pretty big, or pretty long county, I should say. Um, so anyway, that's kind of like what our strategy is for 2025, and we've got the new shop. So that's going to be a big part of our strategy this year too. We're really going to be looking to see how we can make things more efficient with the shop. Try and keep guys out of the local Sherwin-Williams stores. And not to say that they're bad. It's just you can go into the store and the store can become a time suck where they go. They're waiting in line. They're waiting to pick up, waiting for other orders to be filled. And it can just become a waste of time being in the store. So we're in the process of ordering basically everything that we order regularly for our business. We are going to have stocked at the shop. And then when, our supplies or anything get low at the shop, we'll put orders in and we'll make sure that everything that the guys need will be there at the shop. We're also going to be working towards, it's been a little tough right now, but as we get, more into the rhythm of it, we'll be ordering all of our materials for jobs, paint materials. We'll be ordering those in advance and staging them at the shop for the guys to just basically pull up in the trucker van and pick up their order and then head out. So save a lot of time and make things more efficient in that way. So we're looking forward to that. Also, another thing that the shop is going to enable us to do is we're going to start doing more cabinets. So one of the reasons why I stopped doing cabinets is I did not like doing cabinets on site at customers' homes. We would do it, but it just was not my preference. So with the shop, we'll be able to take the doors, the drawers, all of that off, bring them to the shop, and get them sprayed in a controlled environment, and really offer a great product there. So that's going to be part of our strategy in 2025, and I'm looking forward to that and seeing how that grows. And one thing that's kind of that I've been exploring and trying to see how we can grow is the division of pavers, pressure washing and paver sealing. Some of you have listened for a while, and you may know that I purchased my friend's pressure washing and paver sealing company. It was really just a strategy to add to our existing services, but there's a potential that we might create a completely separate business with that, run it completely separate from Seal Pro Painting, and rebrand it, and it'll just be potentially its own thing. I'm kind of up in the air with that, on whether I'm going to just keep it as an added service of Seal Pro Painting or create it separate. There's kind of there's benefits to both. There's pros and cons to both. I'm just trying to figure that out, but anyway, that'll be part of the journey in 2025. So anyway, that's a big portion of what my focus is right now with the business. And um, I would just say, like, if my focus for this episode was anything, it would be to really drive home how important it is to have, have your goals for the year. Write them down, and then have a strategy and a plan to go after those goals, and revisit them, and continue to work towards them throughout the year. you know I can say that having year over year growth, even in the midst of like challenging years, um, a big part of reaching your goals and achieving them is writing them down and then having a plan to get there. So, the yesterday I went into the shop, and we have a whiteboard, and every year I write down what we accomplished the previous year, what is our goal for the next year, and then how are we going to get there, and then month by month, um, I just revisit it. So I'll put, what is our goal for January? Did we hit that goal? And if we were off, how much were we off by? And what does that make our goal for February? And, how do we make those up? And it's really powerful when you do that. We met the end of, in November, or it might have been, no, it was the end of October. So we had November and December, and, Blake and I met, and I said, hey, here's our goal for November and December. We're this far off from our goal for the year, and this is what we have to do. And if we're going to do this, we need to bring in this many leads. We need to close this many of these at this average ticket size. And if we bring in this amount of leads, convert at this rate, and our average ticket is at least this much, then we will hit this goal. And we didn't only hit the goal, but we surpassed it. So, it's powerful when you actually break that down. And it's not as simple as just saying, hey, I want to do X amount of revenue next year. It's like, okay, well, if you want to do that much revenue, what does that really look like? How many leads do you have to bring in? And you've got to know, you got to look at your data. That's why it's so important too to have a way to track your data. We use Jobber. Many of you know that. But Jobber enables us to really go in, run some reports, find out, okay, this is what our average job size is. This is roughly what our conversion rate is. And if these averages are true, then what does that mean historically, and what does that look like for the future? So you can sit down and you can say, okay, if I've got, let's say you've got a I don't know, pressure washing business. You can say, okay, our average job size is X amount of dollars. Our goal for this year is X amount of revenue. If our average job size is X, then how many of those jobs do I have to do to get to Z amount of revenue? So, I don't know, maybe that's 250 jobs. And then you got to ask yourself, okay, well, that's at minimum 250 leads for the year, but we're not going to convert at 100%. So let's say our conversion rate is like industry standard. Let's say it's like 42%. So at 42% conversion rate, how many leads do I have to bring in and convert 42% of them to get to X amount of jobs at X, job size to meet my revenue? And so then you kind of start to reverse engineer those numbers, and then you find out, okay, well, I've got to bring in, this isn't going to be an accurate number, but maybe you say I have to bring in 1,000 leads and I have to convert X amount to get to what I want to for revenue. How many leads is that, per day? How many leads is that per week? How many leads is that per month? How many is that for the year? Break it down. um, have a big picture and a small picture, and then track that. Okay, how are we doing? How many are we hitting our goal for marketing and bringing in that many leads? If we aren't, what can we do to change that and bring in more leads? If there's also only really to hit your revenue goals is you can either sell more jobs or you can increase your average ticket. So another thing you can look at is say, how can we increase our average ticket on jobs? Can we add an additional service? I was just talking to a guy recently, and he's got a window cleaning business. I said, he was talking about adding on this service that was completely like unrelated to window cleaning. And I said, well, what if you really thought about just adding on services that are related to, um, your window cleaning that you could just do while you're there? So, you could do window cleaning, you could do house washes, roof washes, you could add on gutter cleaning. Um, those are paver sealing. Those are all things that are kind of all in that exterior cleaning realm, where it would make sense to add those on. You're already up on a ladder cleaning windows, the gutters are right there, clean out the gutters, or you're already cleaning the roof, why not clean out the gutters? But so that's the two ways that you can grow your business and add to your revenue is increase your job size, or sell more jobs. So I think you should look and have a strategy for both of those. You should have a plan for, upselling when you're going and doing sales. Don't just, if somebody asks for, like for us, if they ask for exterior painting, well, my eyes aren't just thinking about the exterior painting. I'm looking around and I'm saying, okay, do they need their driveway pressure washed, and do they have pavers that need to be cleaned and sealed? Do they have any interior projects? Is there anything that we can add on? Maybe they asked us to only provide them a quote to paint the walls of their home. I might give options to add on soffits and fascia and gutters and downspouts and add on doors and all of those things. Maybe they have like a big shed in the back they weren't thinking of painting. Give them an option to add that on. Do they have a pool deck? Give an option to add on the pool deck. And they may not do those things, but you never know if you don't add or ask. So don't just assume that they only need the one service or will only do the one service. Give them those options to add, and you can grow your average ticket that way. What's really cool about Jobber being on the grow plan is you can put optional line items. So you can give them like an option for painting just the house, and then you can give them optional upgrades. You can also do options to upgrade material. So there's just a lot that you can do to grow your revenue, besides just selling more jobs. So definitely have a strategy in place for this year. And overall, you've got to get really creative as a business owner. And I think too, you have to be willing to try things and fail. I've been a little nervous to do home shows again. I'm like, is it going to be worth our money? Am I going to spend all of this money? Like, we have to buy a new home show, booth display. So I just had to spend a bunch of money on, our backdrop, our table covers, things like that. And, you ask yourself, like, is that going to pay off? Is it going to be worth it? Well, you don't know unless you try. So you got to be willing to try that. It's, the vehicle wraps. I've asked myself for a long time, is it worth it? Is it worth the money to spend on doing vehicle wraps? It's a good chunk of money to spend. Well, I don't know till I try. So you got to be willing to try things, try new things with your business. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to fail. But you've got to put yourself out there. You've got to try. And the other thing that I guess I realize is, other people are doing the things that I'm doing. So other people are being successful with it. So what makes them any different than me? I don't think there's really huge differences. It's doing it. It's taking these plans and putting them into action. So just get after it. Sorry, I'm going to take a sip of coffee. I'll close this episode out by talking about something I saw this morning. I'm going to pull it up. I thought it was really good. I'm hoping I can find it pretty easily. But it was a video with Ty Lopez, Andy Elliott, and I can't remember the other gentleman's name. He started the School of Hard Knocks. You'd probably see his interviews on Instagram or social media, but he interviews, millionaires, billionaires, and talks to them about how they achieve their success and wealth. But I thought this video was really interesting. Ty Lopez is doing this mastermind, and he's with Andy Elliott and the founder of School of Hard Knocks, and he identifies 6 levers of wealth. And the first one, he says, is other people. So the first lever is, if you're a business owner and you can figure out how to delegate to other people to get things done so that other people are working, making the business money, and you're not having to do what they're doing. So that's the first lever, is delegating to other people. The second thing that he talks about is capital. So he says, people who have access to capital or funding are able to achieve more. So when you have that ability, you're going to take your wealth and your business to another level. The third thing he talks about is branding. So he basically says, like, once you get to branding, it's like your brand can make you money without you having to do anything. So he uses the example of Apple. He says, Apple is this huge brand. Everybody knows it. They put out a new phone and they just put the new phone out and people are just going to buy it. And there's not really much anything else they have to do except for just say, hey, we're putting out the new iPhone, and people go and buy it. And that branding power is really what's driving the sales there. He says the fourth thing is media. So it's like, once you can get influence through media, social media, things like that, once people can, recognize who you are, that is going to be a driving force in your success, because you're everywhere. And he kind of talks about some, he talks about Andy Elliott's success on social media and how many impressions and people he reaches, and people know his face and know who he is. And there's, just power in that. And then also with the School of Hard Knocks, people see that brand. I just saw something, I think it was yesterday, he did an interview of himself, the founder, and he's grown the School of Hard Knocks to the point where he's making, I think he said $600,000 a month, and 500,000 of that is profit. And so he's become very successful through media. The fifth thing he talks about is AI, and that's kind of like, he was more so saying, like, the people who early adopt AI and really start to train themselves in AI are going to really be able to achieve a whole nother level of wealth and success. And the sixth thing he talks about is knowledge. And he says this is the most powerful one, and it has to do with mentors. And he says mentors are one of the most powerful things for growing and having success and generating wealth. Wealth. That's a new word. But anyway, so he talks about Elon Musk, and he talks about how Elon Musk was in a mastermind back in his PayPal days. And he talks about how in that mastermind, out of that mastermind, Elon went on to found Tesla, SpaceX, become the CEO of X, formerly Twitter, and do all of these things. And another guy in there went on to found LinkedIn. Another one went on to found Yelp. And there was another guy in there that ended up building one of the largest venture capitalist firms. And, so there's just these people who come together and they all end up doing something amazing. And it's the knowledge of all of these successful people coming together, sharing, their ideas and their plans, and then executing on that. And, he talks about if you can get around people, mentors, people that are more successful than you, who know what you don't know, then that's going to help you to succeed. So, I've talked about this before on the podcast, but I'm a big fan of having a coach or a mentor. So, that's definitely something that you want to do. There's things that I've learned from coaches or mentors that have saved me so much time or helped me to fix mistakes that I've made that I wish I would have known sooner, because I wouldn't have made those mistakes, or I wouldn't have learned things that are helping me now. So coaching and mentorship should be definitely a top priority in 2025. Well, that is going to bring this episode to a close. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Off the Ladder podcast. I hope that the information shared on the podcast is helpful and helps you to achieve what you're after in 2025. It's going to be an interesting year, to say the least. We got a lot of change that's about to take place, change of administration. We're, politically, things are going to be happening. And it's going to be interesting to see how that affects the economy. And, we'll see, I think pretty early on, what that's going to look like in 2025. And I think 2025 is probably going to be a pretty strong indicator of what the next 4 years look like. And hopefully it's all good. And hopefully we have some strong years of business ahead of us. And hopefully we'll be able to capitalize on more opportunities over the next 4 years. So fingers crossed for that. Anyway, if you have listened to this episode today and you found value in it, if you're watching on YouTube, I would greatly appreciate if you would subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications so you don't miss the other content that I'll be putting out, and comment, share your feedback. Share the video with somebody else so that they can learn from it. If you're listening on Apple or Spotify or any other major podcast platform, I would greatly appreciate it if you would rate and review the show. That's very much appreciated. That helps the podcast to continue to get out there to more people and let people know about the Off the Ladder podcast. And, there are resources in the show notes. So if you need a CRM for your business, if you need a payroll provider, if you're looking to get more reviews for your business, if you're looking to track your marketing and make smarter marketing decisions, you can use my resources in the show notes. I do get credit if you guys sign up using my affiliate links. So whether that's the Jobber, Nice Job, CallRail, Gusto, please sign up, use my link, and I would greatly appreciate that. And then if you need any help with any of those platforms or have any questions after signing up, I'm always a resource to help you learn and get acclimated with those platforms to help your business. Thank you so much again for tuning in to this episode of the Off the Ladder podcast. And as always, we'll see you next time on the next episode of the Off the Ladder podcast.